Most people know me for helping retirees and senior citizens, whom I call Melders, a mindful elder, discover their own unique and inherent talents to find meaning and value in their lives beyond retirement. What you may not know about me is that I struggled with finding purpose and direction my whole life. I was torn between following a traditional path to be a teacher and my own desire to be an entertainer. My daddy was a jazz musician. For this reason, I dropped out of some of the finest colleges in the country. Following a constantly winding course, I tried everything from math to computers to business admin. Nothing would stick. I knew I had it in me, I just didn't know what it was. My mother had decided that she wanted to go back to school for an undergraduate degree, as it would help her career with the federal government. I thought this would be the incentive to keep me going too. So I was going to move back home and we could be accountability partners, do our homework together. I was so excited. Sadly, it was not to be, for that summer she had a massive aneurysm and died the week after 4th of July. I was devastated. I packed up and moved as far away as I could, which turned out to be the opposite coast. I was riding the bus and I met a woman who was carrying an easily identifiable dance bag. I asked her about dance class, and the following day I was on that same bus headed to class with my dance bag. Dance gave me my life back. 10 years performing, 10 more years producing. Now I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to be an arts administrator. So for my 50th birthday present to myself, I applied to graduate school. I didn't think about being older or even anticipate any issues. I attended the Southern Utah University, which is the home of the Utah Shakespeare Festival. For the degree I was pursuing, I needed a 90-day internship. Fearlessly, I set up an interview in Santa Barbara, California, to participate in the restoration of the Santa Barbara Center for the Performing Arts, also known as the Granada Theater. When I arrived, several members of the board of directors were surprised to see a 53-year-old applying for an internship. The year was 2007. The executive director was happy to hire me. However, he spent the entire length of my internship referring to me as his grad school grandma. We're living an average today 34 years longer than our great-grandparents did. Advances in health, science, and technology are extending our lives. And today, many people are asking, how do we use this time? How do we live it successfully? I attended a conference in Mesa, Arizona, where hundreds of individuals over 55 gathered to discuss using their time, talent, and creativity to make a contribution to their families, their neighborhood, their communities, and the world. I met a woman, Ashton Applewhite, who had written This Chair Rocks, a manifesto against ageism. She was all about overcoming ageism, especially self-inflicted ageism, when you believe what they say about aging, even when it's not your experience. I realized then that this would be my mission going forward, overcoming society's version of a retiree or a senior citizen. After all, hadn't I just graduated with my master's degree? Wasn't I still dancing, teaching, directing? In her short 10-minute presentation, Ashton outlined many of the beliefs that society expects older adults to accept. One limiting belief carried by many people is that when you get old, you go to a nursing home and you die. Another is the idea that once you retire, there's nothing more for you to do, nothing more for you to contribute. I know that's a lie. Just as an example, how many grandparents are raising their grandchildren? A noble purpose, to be sure. Ageism is becoming more pervasive than sexism or racism. Suddenly, I could see all around me attitudes and stigma about aging and ageism. Medical doctors and psychologists are writing off ailments or any complaint as old age. Old age is not a disease. There are conditions that come with age, but age is not the disease. I come from a long line of octogenarians who continue to serve their families and their communities long after they retire. I knew that I had the energy and the motivation to show others their own unique skills and talents for them to continue to make a difference. I've learned that these negative attitudes and beliefs can be overcome. Action cures fear. The need for meaning and purpose does not age. It does not retire. So I show them how what they do has value, and I help them overcome ageist vocabulary, their own negative attitudes, and limiting beliefs, so that they can continue to find meaning and value in their lives well beyond retirement. Won't you join me?